like to see in their dream park. Come on, help us out here. There you go. All right.
Our goal is to want to raise happy, healthy kids, and sometimes you have to rattle some cages and make some people mad to do the right thing.
I think I might have been an advocate, but I didn't know that I was. I think advocates just have something in them.
We're trying to be 1 million strong because we found out though, hey, we really do run things here, you know?
Anybody can do this. We can all do it. We all have something in ourselves that we can express that is important, and it's important to contribute to the democratic process. And what Pay and WIMAC are about is helping people find that. About 5 years ago, we said to ourselves, we've got to involve many more people in this effort to influence the city. And the first group of people that we thought were, of course, young people themselves. And we started WIMAC, Youth Making a Change.
People say, you sweep them under the carpet, like forget they even exist. But we're going to be here. We're here, we exist, and you can't put us aside anymore.
Because like the mayor said today, basically whoever screams the loudest is going to get their money. So that's how it's going to work.
What we do is we're a youth advocate group where we go around trying to make San Francisco a better place for the youth. And whether it means going to see the supervisors, talking to the mayor, or the school board or principals, and telling them that this is what the youth want and we can make a difference.
What did you guys come up with in terms of trying to get money back in the budget? What kinds of stuff did you talk about yesterday?
Talk to him about his campaign.
My daughter was one of the first WIMACers, and her time in WIMAC made her realize that she had a hand in her future, that she could change how her future would go. And I watched it, and I came upstairs to tell Margaret, thank you. Whatever I can do, I'm at your disposal. Because, you've literally saved my family, because Jua was like a nightmare. So she said, well, you want to start a parent group?
Parent Advocates for Youth is a group of great parents, parents that care about kids, and parents who are motivated to get out there and make some changes for kids in San Francisco.
We're all parents. We all struggled with getting child care. I was on a waiting list for over a year.
I was the working poor. I was the secretary for Southern Pacific. I was the last in line. I never did get any type of child subsidy program, which eventually I had to quit my job.
I almost had to drop out of school because I couldn't find child care.
I had this vision of babies just taking over City Hall, and I mentioned it to Pay and other people at Coleman, and it just captured everyone's imagination. Everyone understood the impact that could have just instantly.
You let Willie Brown know that you came over here, okay? Go ahead, put your name on there, girl. Go ahead, put your name on there.
Kids need quality, affordable child care, and how much do we want?
Now, our city officials expect babies to invade City Hall at least every year, and now they have to be prepared for what they're going to do about it.
And as chairperson of the Board of Supervisors Finance Committee, I intend to allocate $2 million in this high-quality child care fund.
A supervisor can't get up and look at those kids and say anything except, I'll do the best I can. And half the people who came, the supervisors, didn't intend to speak. And we roped them into speaking, and then they had to say things that we can now hold them accountable for saying.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
I know you want to put everyone back to work, but when I was working, there was no child care for me. And I don't understand. I'm looking for hope.
I didn't get child care until I lost my job.
That's the same thing with me.
Commit to $10 million to child care at the first children and youth
I don't do it
summit.
that way.
You did
I don't do it that way.
promise
I don't do it that way, and you know I don't do it that
quality
way.
child care on demand
And that's what I'm going to continue to do. You wouldn't be here if I hadn't already demonstrated a willingness to be productive on child care. That's why you're here. And I want you here. I want you to come back often, regularly, and I want you to keep it on the front burner.
It's extremely hard for me
I
to
know.
stay up in
And
your
you keep
face
arguing.
when
No,
somebody
you-
at Muni who
No.
gets paid to stay up in your face. It's unfair.
The women in pay used everything they had learned, all the self-confidence they had gained and all their knowledge about who really had the power in the city, and just went for it. Their refusal to back down was an inspiration to everyone who was watching them, and might have thought, oh gee, I would really back down in this situation, and they didn't.
Well, he heard us. Doesn't mean that we're going to get $10 million in the budget. No, but it means that he heard us, and that we have to be that beat that's hitting the drum, and he's the drum. So we just have to keep beating at him.
Keep beating at it
until he's singing the song that we want to hear.
What's your name? Idell. Hi, I'm Margaret. Come on in. We're gonna. Welcome in. Oh, Idell.
And so let's work with this, and then we'll see how we feel.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the budget hearing, please.
I love the women in pay. I truly love them. I can't believe how dedicated they are and how articulate they are and what fighters they are and the courage that they have.
It's not our job to come up with the program. It's our job to make sure that the people who have that job are doing their job. My life has kind of been on the conservative side. I was raised, don't make waves, just be a good girl and go along. But sometimes if you want to see things get better, you have to ask questions and you have to take action. For example, Rec and Park, we did a report card on the city parks. And we were not always complimentary. And I thought, oh, what if these rec directors are offended? Or what if, well, when we saw that that certain problems were immediately remedied, that playgrounds, the wood was refinished in a playground because it was dangerous, or if something was closed, then you think, well, it may not be comfortable, but it's the right thing to do.
I just wanted to report that I've spent a couple hours this week talking to Talkline parents and trying to urge them to come out to Saturday's Board of Soups meeting. And some of them, it's their very first time, so they need a lot of encouragement and prepping. But it's kind of exciting to take what we've been learning here. And God, there's been so many trainings, so many people that we thought we would have to pay to come and be speakers that have volunteered their time on how to speak before a group and not be nervous, how to city budget works, how to be an advocacy group, and then the camaraderie between us in pay. So that it's great to be a part of a group of other parents that feel just as strong about their own children and other children in the city. I mean, this is a slow erosion of the public schools as we know it, if we allow this to happen.
What they missed out was the word P-U-B-L-I-C. This is a public school. The best thing I do is I'm able to speak for children. I've always been an outspoken person anyway, so this is just a ball, and Pay is helping me learn how to speak correctly for parents and really express the things that are in my heart and able to put them into words.
I was scared to death standing up there. My legs were buckling. Because I get tired of them, saying, oh, not her again. I know that's what they're thinking. I know as he's sitting there picking his nose, he's thinking, not her again. So I felt very good that the people before us were so impassioned.
It has changed my life so much. I have to be honest with you, I didn't vote until I started working here. And now, all the women that I used to sit in clutches and we'd talk about, we'll never get, black people will always be down, we'll never get anything. Those women vote too. Because we see the changes that we make.
When I got a chance to tell the supervisor how I really felt and wanted to know where was he going to be when all these parents and children and community members were going to answer his questions. For the first time, as long as I've been with Coleman, I felt like I was standing on top of the world. It was, I hate I told my name, but but it was it really made me understand what was happening, not only to those children, but what can happen to my own children. And I just thank y'all. It was so good.
Group hug.
I love the relationship between the Pay and Coleman and WIMAC and Coleman, because I feel like we've taken everything that I have learned in 20 years of being an advocate for children, everything that the organization has to offer, all our connections with people in the city, all the expertise we have in the issues, our database, our computers, everything, and turned it over to a group of parents and a group of young people and said, use it.
He's the supervisor who
wrote of heroin.
Talk about that and why he's doing like substance abuse work.
Youth Vote started because it was so obvious that it was the right thing to do. I never thought that WIMAC would be able to do it with the level of sophistication and skill that they do.
That's basically like the information about the supervisors.
Why do you want to be in the Board of Education?
Whoever's the one that interviews them, they're the one that does their statements, or they're the one that does their backgrounds. Basically, we give them a statement, and then we print it out in the books.
Take one of these. One of the things I want to do is to talk about a couple of the really important issues that are in the Youth Vote packet. I hope that your experience in Youth Vote can give you some sense of the importance of voting, but also the importance of continuing to talk about these issues, because they have direct impact on you. You shouldn't be in a public school if you don't know English. Your family to teach you English.
And how about if they don't know English?
That's why.
What could you do about it, right?
I say no because it helps, like bilingual classes, it helps a lot of people get to learn that culture. Like if you, like in the Spanish class, it helps a person learn that background or their own background or learn about other people's culture besides English.
I plead the fifth.
One of the things we hope is that they understand how power works in the society and what it takes to get your voice heard. And when you have something that you want to change or you'd like to see happening in your community, what are the things you have to do to make that happen? Who are the people that you have to build relationships with? How do you have to develop a message and communicate it in a way that people can hear? What are the strategies that you need to use to be successful and get the things that you want for yourself and for your peers? The goal is to help them develop as young activists and advocates and grow up along the way, because they're still growing up and figuring out who they are and what their place in the world is.
What's going on? Yes, you are, from Coleman. Come on in. Hey, how are you doing? Good.
Hello, how are you?
Have a seat.
We're going to talk about like what youth space is about and why is it important to us, and here's our budget proposal.
Great. Well, basically, Youth Space is it's a youth-driven, youth-run project that we're in the making. We're holding meetings so far, and we have a meeting today at 3:30 at Columbia Park Boys and Girls Club.
How do you see making this neutral territory? How do you think it'll work?
What we tell the youth is in our meetings is that this is going to be a place where we can actually get to know each other and where we can break down our stereotypes about each other.
We can't go to the mayor and just say, hey, you got to do this. You got to help us, and then talk to them like streetwise. Most people, like the mayor or the supervisors, they won't listen to you. But Coleman, they teach us how to talk to people the right way. Like, this is how you talk to your friends, and this is how you talk to people, political people with power. There's a difference. The purpose of this meeting basically is to let you know what's going on and to ask you guys to help us make this happen.
If we complete this youth space, it'll be a major statement because it's like youth wrote the proposal, youth went and met with the mayor, youth went and met with all the supervisors. The reason it's there is because of youth, and it's being ran by youth.
Okay, I'm representing Slug, and I know there's like 4 of these that I know definitely we'd love to play key roles in establishing and making sure that this is something that's really good. $100,000 is cool, but I mean that's not really enough. I think if we wanted to really, I mean that may be enough to pay for rent, as you guys have all said.
Wait. I mean, we asked the city for more money, but if that's what they want to give us, you know, we keep coming at them telling us, look, this is it. This is what youth space is. And if you're just going to give us this, it's not going to happen. So they understand the realities, and the mayor's also looking at it in his budget. Where I was growing up, a female is expected to get pregnant by the age of 18. You know, and with that life, it's like, I don't want to do that. And I want to do something that's good. And with WIMAC, they're like, there are good things in the city that you can do. You don't just have to go out and join a gang or something just to do something in the city. You can always do something good. You can meet people and tell them, this is what's going on in the city. You got to step out of your office and actually look. When I was seeing a psychiatrist, she's the one who told me that you can make a difference. I mean, if you want to live, you got to do it the right way.
We have really brought young people to the table in a way that has never happened before. I think we've created a whole new culture and climate in the city, both in terms of young people and parents.
Yes, because you know what we're calling this? We're calling this the Quality Enhancement Fund. That's the part that goes for toys. You don't have to say that, but just, you know, put the issue of quality.
I'm here to talk about a grievous omission in the city budget, and that is for the 24-hour parental stress line, talk line.
I'm a single dad. I'm raising my daughter. She's going to be 3 years old in 2 weeks. You know, and I've never hit her. You know, I felt like hitting her a lot. And what happened was I called 441 Kids.
The talk line basically saved my life 5 years ago when I was homeless, pregnant, and had nowhere to go.
In an age where a lot of federal government and state government is looking at intervention instead of prevention, youth space is something that's going to keep youth off of the streets. It's going to keep youth out of trouble.
Youth space is really important. It's a citywide center for the youth that's going to get the youth off the streets. It's going to offer them classes, tutoring, all that stuff that the youth are asking the city to provide for them. And we really need $225,000 to lease this space.
I'm a single parent with 6 children. I have 46 nieces and nephews. I can't tell you how important it is for child care in San Francisco.
Now, we are certainly in agreement if the mayor wants to support a Cadillac child care program in City Hall, but we would urge him to also drive that Cadillac to Bayview Hunters Point, to Visitation Valley, to the Tenderloin, to Chinatown, where those real needs are.
Look at my child. Look at Kania. How can you say that because another families make less money than ours, that Kania is less worthy or not in need of child care? The working poor and low-income families' children all need quality child care.
What fits beautifully into that is that child care and Rec and Park can go hand in hand by funding some half-day programs through the Rec and Park department.
We were their counselors, we're their guidance, we're their home away from home, and we're working on paper, scissors, and glue.
So I just think that childcare, as well as other issues, but particularly childcare, are incredibly crucial to keeping families, working people, professional people with children in the city. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
I just can't actually leave here without saying something about this budget process. This to me is a ludicrous joke. How can you have one public hearing on the budget, on a $3.9 billion budget with a $101 million surplus, and you're giving people 2 minutes to comment on a $3.9 billion
budget, this is totally unfair. And if this is what we call democracy, I really don't think it is. And I just want to say today, and I'm finishing, that today is a new day in San Francisco. We the people will be in your face until we can get our fair share of the budget. We're asking for 31% of the surplus, and we will change this budget process.
This is the revitalization of democracy, and this is one of the most exciting things I've ever done. And to watch people who have felt literally powerless, who had no idea that decisions were being made, much less that they could impact them, come forward and feel like they have really changed the way the city has done something.
She's actually made a soldier. I'll leave Coleman's and I'll, work within my community, and that's so exciting to me that I know what to do.
I love it. It's so empowering every day.
I feel that everybody has to make a contribution, and I don't consider myself really artistic or anything, but I feel I am able to draw from personal experience, to give my voice, to give my time.
I changed a lot. Some of my friends, they say that I'm really different.
So, we want to introduce the mayor.
This is the only way I see myself doing things now, like going out, doing outreach, and organizing towards the community and helping the community in a big way like this.
Before I really encountered Wine, I really didn't feel I was equal to the mayor or anything like that. I could tell him something, but now they got to listen to us. They got to hear our voice, basically.
I frankly think that many of the decisions we make would not be made without that advocacy. So no matter how vexing they may become, no matter how much of an annoyance for some people they may be, they're totally and completely necessary.
I'm not as afraid as I was before to take on issues or to take on people. And it's helped me a lot just to have that confidence in myself and to have it show in me so that my daughters can see it.